So it's not every day that a rebrand goes wrong and gets completely rolled back. I've got a cracker for you today. Pardon the pun. It's about a brand in the US that got even Donald Trump talking. Cracker Barrel. I don't know if you heard of it. I certainly haven't heard of it. They've recently gone under a massive refresh. And the reason for this was mainly, I believe, to just change their positioning in the market, start attracting a new audience because their business was slowly receding. Now, what actually went wrong with the rebrand? The old guy does look dated. It's old, blocky lines. There's not a lot of detail. I wouldn't have lost this guy in the barrel. I think he's really important to the heart of the brand. Even the copy here and the shape just looks really rustic and nostalgic. It's got a lot of heritage to it. Now, if I go over to the new logo, you can kind of also see, comparing the two here, it's got some nice little serifs built in and carved away here. And the new font, it's got more of a rounded edge on here, a little bit softer. The fonts are very different, but it still has a similar feel. The B's lost its small top and big bottom. Yeah, it's lost its sharp edge. So it's a little bit more friendlier, in my opinion. And obviously they've shrunk or increased the size of the white space around the logo. As I said, I wouldn't have gotten rid of the guy. And I probably wouldn't have got rid of the red either. I think the red is a really strong color for them. So if you're going to make a big, bold move of changing the logo so drastically and minimizing it, I think you still need to connect the brand with the red. So I wouldn't have removed the red for a bit more of a colder, darker color. Let's have a look at some other parts of the brand here. That's a bit more of a close-up of the logo. Once again, don't mind it. I do like the shape as well. It's still got a little bit of a rustic kind of organic feel to it. Here's a bit more of the brand. So they've really gone for that dark black. I think it is a black or a charcoal color. And they've brought in some other colors here as well. They've gone a little bit more, in my opinion, retro, and they've lost the nostalgia. So yeah, there's some parts I love. So I don't mind the photos. I don't mind these little badges they've created here. But yeah, I'm not sure about the color palette. It's a little bit jarring, and I would have preferred something a little bit more friendlier. I like that they've gone for the warm colors, given that it's in the food industry. And here's the packaging, which I actually really don't like. It's really bland and dark and dull, and I don't think they've nailed the packaging at all. Yeah, don't think they've nailed it. But taking on a rebrand, it's never that easy. And I'm sure they went through lots of iterations to get to here, but I think they've used brown too much, the dark colors too much. It just doesn't look like I want to eat this stuff. It's just very cold and minimal. So yeah, they're my thoughts on the rebrand. Yeah, I don't hate it, but I can see why there was such an uproar when you look at the difference between these two. They feel very, very different. But this isn't a graphic design problem or a brand identity problem. This is a customer perception problem. What a lot of brands have done over the last 20 years particularly is they've gone too modern. They've taken a brand that has heritage, tradition, and they've stripped the heart out of it and minimalized, modernized, and made it a professional logo that looks great and fits with this modern times. But at the same time, they've lost the feeling, the connection that the audience has with the brand. Cracker Barrel is a prime example of this. The CEO herself said that she felt fired by the American people because of the backlash, and it was immediate. People hated it. And when I think about branding and big business, especially for big corporations in America and the whole money story, it can appear that the brand has been bought out or has gone corporate or they only care about money now. When you make these big changes, it can have an impact on how the customers perceive the brand now. And when you remove all of the heart from the brand and it just goes cold, minimal, and corporate, then you're left with a logo and a brand that doesn't feel like it's for the customers anymore. And you lose all of that brand equity that's been created over the years. So in my opinion, it's actually been executed really well. The new brand looks beautiful. What would I have done differently? I definitely would not have removed the guy on the barrel. The guy on the barrel is the thing that the audience connects with the most. It's the heart of the brand. It's the familiarity. It's the trust. It's the nostalgia that logo brings. What I would have probably done is just polished the guy on the barrel and evolved it into 2025 without removing him entirely, which is what they did. They also changed the colors. I probably wouldn't have changed the colors either. They've kept the yellow, but I would have kept that warm red as well. I think with a brand as big and old as this, it's really important to stay close to the roots and don't change too much, because you don't want to ruin the brand equity that you created over 50 years. So I wouldn't have evolved it so far. I would have polished the guy on the barrel so it looks like a beautiful high detail illustration. And I would have probably offered them a logo lockup with and without the guy. I would have slowly, if I wanted to remove the guy from the logo or use different applications of it, I would have separated them over time and not just completely removed it from the logo, which has kind of just ruined the whole brand. So power to the people. They complained. Even the president of the United States complained, and they had to roll the whole brand back. I have no idea how much it cost them, but it was a very big mistake. And I didn't see all of the touch points that were designed either. I assume that they went quite minimal and clean as well. So it's not just about the logo, it's about all of the other touch points and the way the brand's perceived in the market. So you've got to be really careful. This is a warning for all business owners out there. If you're looking to rebrand your business, which we've done plenty of times, the older the business, the more intentional and considerate you've got to be for the audience so that you don't lose that connection and that equity that you've created. Obviously, the idea of a rebrand is to reinvent yourself a little bit and attract a bigger market. You never want to replace the market you have with the same size. You want to maybe lose a bit of your old market, but increase it with a larger market. That's what you want to do with rebrands. You want to grow your audience without losing too many of your old. So yeah, they stuffed up pretty bad here. The interesting thing is the stock prices did go down, but because everyone was talking about it, they got so much media coverage. They do say there's no such thing as bad publicity. And this is probably a really good case of that, because even I'm talking about it in Australia. So even though it was a massive mistake, they got so much media attention, which is lucky. They got some good out of a really bad situation. So take a warning from the big guys. Whenever rebranding, always think about your customers and how they feel the brand is perceived in the market, especially if you're a massive business to consumer chain that so many people recognize and have experienced over 50 years. You've got to be really, really careful. Hopefully the agency has learned their lesson, and next time they'll be a little bit more careful when rebranding a big company like Cracker Barrel.